Arthur Schopenhauer.
Arthur.
I didn't expect to see you here.
Few roads are accidents. The rain washes away illusions and leaves only truth. It seems this path was meant for us both.
What is this?
A mirror, disguised as words. It will not comfort you, but it will show you what every man must one day face. The truth he runs from.
And why give it to me?
Because the storm outside is nothing compared to the one within. And only when you read will you understand which storm rules your life.
To the men who live after me, I write these words not to please you, nor to console you, but to awaken you. If my pen is sharp, it is because truth cuts before it heals. And if my tone seems bitter, it is only because I have tasted the fruit of life and found its sweetness mingled with poison. Of all the illusions that torment men, none is more powerful than woman. She stands before you, not merely as a companion, but as nature's instrument, fashioned to ensnare, to captivate, to command your strength without ever appearing to wield power. You believe you chase her by choice. In truth, you are driven by forces far older than you, currents of the will that flow through your veins and whisper in your blood. Man is born reaching upward, toward knowledge, toward greatness, toward immortality in his works, but woman draws him downward into the cycle of life itself. Desire, reproduction, the endless chain of generations. I have watched men, brilliant men, strong men, fall before the glance of a woman, as though their reason were but a thin veil, torn by a smile or a sigh. They sacrifice their fortunes, their ambitions, their very peace of mind upon the altar of her approval. And when she withdraws it, they find themselves broken, reduced to beggars of affection. Understand me, I do not write this to condemn women. To hate them is as foolish as to worship them. They act as they must, guided by instincts deeper than reason. But I write to condemn the blindness of men, who mistake illusion for truth, who crown their jailer as queen and call it love. Do not think you are free from this fate simply because you read these words. Even the most skeptical man will feel his defenses falter when beauty crosses his path. For beauty is the bait by which nature deceives you, making you believe that in embracing her, you embrace happiness. In reality, you embrace the will of life itself. Endless striving, endless suffering. Every man believes he is the one discovering her secret, but perhaps it is not she who is revealed, but he who is uncovered. For in the game between man and woman, the first truth exposed is never hers, it is his. You must understand this above all. Woman is the vessel of the species. Her mind, her desires, even her affections are all bent toward one unspoken aim, the continuation of life. She is less the individual she appears to be, and more the embodiment of nature's will, draped in softness and adorned with beauty. To the unthinking man, this beauty seems like a gift. To the wise, it is a mask. Nature has painted her with alluring colors so that you will not see the chains she carries behind her back. For behind the charm of her smile lies the demand of the unborn, the hunger of the next generation, the weight of a future she will demand you to carry. Her tenderness is not without calculation. Her sweetness is not without aim. She seeks not truth nor grandeur, nor eternity, but security. And if you do not provide it, she will leave you as easily as she embraced you. For her loyalty is not to you, but to life itself. Do not despise her for this. Do not accuse her of treachery. She is but an agent of the deeper will, a will older and stronger than any civilization, any philosophy, any dream of man. She is obedient to that law as the moon is obedient to the pull of the earth. Yet here lies the danger. Because her instincts serve the species, they do not serve you. Where you dream of greatness, she dreams of stability. Where you long for freedom, she longs for possession. And in her arms, many a man has forgotten his higher call, exchanging his sword for her embrace, his destiny for her approval. I warn you not because she intends you harm, but because her nature is harm to all who do not see. There is no snare more cunning, no chain more invisible than that which you call love. You think it noble, you call it eternal. You adorn it with poetry and song. But strip away the ornaments, and you will find nothing but nature's device, a trick played upon your senses, so that the species may continue. When a man falls in love, he does not see the woman before him as she is. He sees instead a phantom projected by his desire, a vision crafted not by truth, but by the will of life itself. Her beauty intoxicates you, her touch blinds you, her words seem to echo the promise of heaven, and yet all of this is but the cunning of nature, whispering in your ear so that you may surrender your freedom to her embrace. Think carefully. In those moments of passion, is it you who chooses, or is it the species, commanding through you, pulling you like a puppet toward its own purpose? You speak of destiny when you fall in love, yet the true destiny is not yours. It belongs to life, which uses you as its instrument. What is love but the sacrifice of reason? What is desire but the hunger of unborn children, demanding through your flesh the right to exist? And what is the woman but the willing hand of that eternal will, guiding you gently, sweetly into the trap? Do not deceive yourself, young man. Love is not freedom, but a necessity disguised as ecstasy. It is the most beautiful of lies and the most destructive of illusions. This is why I warn you. The more you exalt her, the more you will diminish yourself. For to bow before her image is to bow before the will of life, forgetting that you were meant for more than to serve its endless hunger. Now I turn from woman to you, for the greater danger does not lie in her nature, but in your blindness. It is not the smile of a woman that enslaves a man, but his hunger to be affirmed by it. It is not her voice that deceives him, but his desperate wish to believe it. And it is not her weakness that ruins him, but his surrender of strength in seeking to be needed by her. Mark my words. The most subtle chains are those you clasp upon yourself. The average man longs to be admired, to be chosen, to be desired. This longing makes him malleable, willing to compromise his path, his dignity, even his destiny, for the fleeting warmth of a woman's approval. He becomes like clay in her hands, molded not by reason, but by her moods and appetites. Even among the great, this weakness has destroyed more men than war or plague. Poets who once sang of eternity, reduced to begging for a glance. Kings who once ruled nations, brought to ruin by the whispers of a queen. Warriors who once defied death, trembling at the thought of losing her affection. Do not think yourself above them. The greater a man's strength, the greater the fall when blinded by desire. The very fire that could have forged him into greatness is too often extinguished in her embrace. I do not speak to deny companionship, nor to condemn affection. But know this, when a man places his life, his meaning, his identity in the hands of a woman, he becomes less than himself. he ceases to be a sovereign soul and becomes instead an echo of her will. Remember, young man, the most dangerous betrayal is not hers but yours, the betrayal of yourself. What then should a man do when faced with the enchantment of women? Shall he retreat to solitude, shunning all tenderness, all beauty, as if it were poison? Such extremity is as blind as indulgence. The path is not hatred, but mastery. A man must stand before woman as he stands before the storm, aware of its force, yet unshaken in his ground. He must look upon her beauty without surrendering his reason, hear her words without losing his judgment, and feel her touch without forgetting who he is. To master desire is not to kill it. Desire is the fire of life itself, but a fire uncontrolled consumes the house, while a fire tended becomes light and warmth. Let your desire serve you, not rule you. Let it fuel your striving, not diminish it. If she admires you, let it not swell your pride. If she abandons you, let it not break your will. For the man who depends on her praise or suffers from her absence is already a slave. The sovereign man remains the same in gain or loss, for his worth is rooted not in her gaze, but in his own mastery. Do not despise her nature. Accept it as you accept the rising of the sun or the pull of the tide. But remember always, she is compelled by her instincts, while you are called to rise above yours. She lives for the species. You must live for truth, for greatness, for the freedom of the spirit. This is your task, to remain whole in her presence, to grant affection without surrender, to share your strength without losing it, to stand beside her without kneeling before her. Then, and only then, can you walk among women without fear, for no charm can bind the man who governs himself. And now, young man, my words draw to their end. What remains is the truth I leave you, as one leaves a lantern in the night, for those who must walk after. Do not waste your life cursing women, nor wasting away in their praise, for both are errors, and both betray your strength. She is not your heaven, nor is she your hell. She is simply the veil through which nature hides its command. Lift the veil, and you will see. If you live blind, you will kneel to her image, chasing her approval, binding your days to the shifting winds of her affection. You will become her shadow, following wherever she moves, losing yourself until nothing remains but an echo of her desire. But if you live awake, if you guard your reason, if you master your fire, then you will stand as few men have ever stood. You will love without chains. You will walk beside her without fear, and whether she stays or departs, your path will remain your own. This is the message I leave you. Do not surrender your soul to illusions. Do not let the will of life use you blindly. A man who governs himself cannot be governed. A man who sees cannot be deceived. And a man who remains sovereign over his spirit can walk even through the storms of love unbroken. Choose then which man you will be, her shadow or yourself.